serial config board should be set to ID 6.
I need that in plain English.
Call for help. This is Chris Perillo. What can I do for you?
Hey, welcome to Call for Help. On today's show, oh, by the way, I'm Chris Perillo, and this is the show where we show you how to make your personal computer a little more personal. And as I said, on today's show, so you comb the local grocery stores, libraries, and singles bars, but you still can't find that special someone? Well, maybe it's time to give the internet a shot. Yeah, let's see here. I'm 6'4", weigh 140 pounds. Yeah, the camera always takes away 2 feet. That's why. And it, of course, doesn't do me justice, as you can tell. Match.com's own Trish McDermott will be here with tips on finding a date using the internet. But before you start falling in love, let's be sure to check in with Roger to see what else is going on today.
Hey Chris, having a functional toolbar in Internet Explorer can really speed things up, especially if you're surfing the web. So today we're going to show you how to customize these bars up here so you can surf the web in style and hopefully speed things up a little bit too. We're going to show you how to do that a little later on in the show.
Oh, very nice. Now, I hate to get your hopes up and everything. Allie, I think, has got a crush on you. She's been smiling for a little while over there, but I think that's because she can't wait to tell everybody how to get a hold of us on the show today.
Oh, Roger, wherefore out my Roger?
Hey,
I have to...
Yeah.
What do I hear? Well, in the meantime, while we think about love online, perhaps you would like to ask a question on the air. Give us a call right now. The number is 888-989-7879. And remember, our phone lines actually open up half an hour before the show begins, so get in early and make sure you get your question on the show today. You can also email us at callforhelp@techtv.com. Or if you have a netcam and you'd like to ask a question live on the show right now, here's how you do it. You head on over to techtv.com/callforhelp. Scroll down the page and click on the Call for Help chat link. This will take you to our Interact page. Then you want to click on Chat Now again to launch our chat room. Now select room number 7 to enter the Netcam Cineplex. Here we'll help get you hooked up and on our show. And if you want to chat with me and other Call for Help staff right now, join me in room number 5. Network, it's Keith from Warren, Ohio.
Keith.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Boy, you look like you're right at home there.
Yeah, I was wondering, how do you remove my computer and the recycling bin and network places off the desktop?
Okay, good question. As a matter of fact, you're talking about removing icons off the desktop. What operating system are you using?
ME.
ME, okay, not a problem. I'm going to step you through a tweak that is applicable to both Windows Millennium Edition and Windows 98. And what you're talking about here, you're kind of annoyed by a lot of the icons that are on the desktop. They're really kind of occluding the wallpaper sitting behind it, and that's why you want them off?
Right.
Okay, not a problem. Again, it's actually a feature kind of built into Windows. Now, by doing this, you're going to be removing every icon from the desktop. You can right-click, choose Active Desktop, then View as Web Page. Now, when I do this, you're going to see the icons disappear, and you're going to see just the plain old wallpaper sitting right there. Look, no icons at all. Now, if you did that and you still see icons, there may be something that you're going to need to toggle in the Windows Explorer. So let me turn off View as Web Page, which again, hit all the icons, double-click on My Computer or any Explorer window, click View, Folder Options, switch to the View tab, and then as you scroll down in this part, you'll see the option under Visual Settings that says Hide Icons when desktop is being viewed as web page. Now, you got to make sure there's a check mark in there, and as long as the check mark's in there, then you're going to be, when you turn on the active desktop like I just did, then the icons are going to disappear. Now, I'm assuming you're sitting in front of your computer since you're using your netcam to communicate with us.
Correct.
Were you able to step through that right there as I was explaining it?
No, I didn't. I'll go back and try it later.
It's okay. Is that what you wanted to do, though? You wanted to get rid of all the icons on your desktop?
Well, yeah, I guess. I was trying to remove those 3 because the rest of them you can delete off
Not a
your
problem.
desktop.
Not a problem. Let me show you another way to remove at least the recycle bin and the network neighborhood icons. Do you have Tweak UI?
I don't have it currently on this machine, but I do have it.
Okay, not a problem. You can download it from Microsoft.com for free. In Tweak UI, there's actually, you'll see a whole bunch of tabs. I believe it's the Desktop tab. And here, you see, look at those 2 icons that I have right there with check marks next to them. There's a network neighborhood. Take the check mark out of there. and you can take the check mark out of the recycle bin. Now again, be careful about doing this, and you can always get them back by going back the same route and putting check marks back in the boxes. But as soon as I press apply, those icons will just, it's saying, hey, warning, are you sure you want to remove that network neighborhood icon? Could cause problems. Just press yes. It'll pop up the help dialog. That's fine. That's fine. Now, as I look at my desktop, I may have to I'm going to have to log out and log back in order for the network neighborhood icon to refresh. But you notice what icon's not there right now, Keith?
Right.
The recycle bin is not there. So as long as you've done that and you've stepped through Tweak UI, then you can selectively remove certain components or certain icons from the desktop. Now, if that My Documents folder is bothering you, I believe, I'm wondering if, no, I guess not. I'm going to have to find out exactly how to remove the My Documents icon. Oh, right there. Just right-click on it. It says Remove from Desktop. Duh. Sometimes I've got to learn to read these things. And as soon as I do that, then the My Documents icon, as soon as I hit refresh, is gone. Unfortunately, I've not found a way to hide the My Computer icon in Windows Millennium Edition or Windows 98. But if anybody else has, I'd love to hear about it. You can email us here, callforhelp@techtv.com. Keith, that'll get you going.
Okay, thanks a lot, Chris. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. It's what we love doing around here. Coming up next, if you use Internet Explorer for web browsing, it pays to spend some time customizing it. So we'll show how easy it is. The great things about Internet Explorer is that you can change the way with which you work with it. Now, if you use it a lot, playing with its toolbar can make your browsing quicker and easier. Now, when you first look at Internet Explorer 6.0, it'll look a lot like this. But with a little tweaking, you can make it look a little bit like this. Did you notice those subtle differences there? We removed some text, we moved the toolbars around, we even added a little toolbar there for Google if you want to do, if you do a lot of searching on Google.com, which of course is one of the internet's most popular search engines. Well, here's the question. Where do you start? What is this? It's Internet Explorer. Now, you've seen this many times before. This is your web browser. This is what you use to access the internet. But most people don't know that it's very customizable. Now, you notice up here, this is the toolbar area that we're talking about. This right up here. We've got little icons here. We've got our address bar. We've got a link section here. And we've got just our regular menu bar up there. But let's say we don't want that address bar stretching across the whole screen. So what you can do is you can move it around. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, right here, I can click and hold and then move it, but look, it's not moving. Well, Internet Explorer has got this thing called locking the toolbars, which is great once you've got the toolbar set up the way you want it to. Just right-click anywhere in these toolbars, and you'll see the Lock the Toolbars option. So let's make sure that's unlocked. Now you see I've got a nice little handlebar there. Click, and now it gives me a different cursor. And watch me move this thing around. Isn't this great? I can put it anywhere I want. Now, I just so happen to like putting it right there, and so that it's not taking up the whole space of my browser window. So now I've got even more space, even more browser real estate down here because I've removed a line. Now, that's one way that you can move the toolbars around wherever you want it. Now, let's say this links toolbar, not a lot of people use it. I know I don't when I'm surfing the web, so I'm going to get rid of it entirely. Again, right-click anywhere in your toolbar, and you'll see right there the standard buttons, the address bar, links. All I have to do is click that, and then, did you see what happened there? It completely disappeared. Now, that doesn't mean it's deleted. It just means it's hidden. You can't find it in here. How do you get it back? Real easy to do. Again, right-click, select links, and there it's back. But I don't like it, so I'm taking it out again. Now, here's the really cool part. This is one of my favorite tweaks for Internet Explorer's toolbars. We have all these icons sitting here, but you know what? I never use the media option, and I really don't need to be reminded that the little globe icon is the search icon. So what I can do, again, is using that right-clicking anywhere, I can select Customize. Now, this will bring me to a little dialog that looks kind of familiar. If you've ever worked within Word, it looks much the same way. And from here, I can drag and drop icons in and out of the toolbar dynamically. So if I want to get rid of the money side, I click and drag it over here, and you see that little hand icon, let go. And did you see that? The money icon up here in my toolbar disappeared. I don't need real. I hate the real player. I don't need the messenger one. I never use that. I never discuss. Look at all that stuff. I'm just dragging and dropping it over. And look at my toolbar. It's shrinking. Now the question is how am I going to get rid of that text sitting next to these icons? Easy to do. Right here it says Text Options. Click and drag, and you see, or just click to open up that dialog. Show text labels, selective text on right, or No text labels at all. Look at that. I'm getting more space by the second. Now, of course, if your icons are a little too big, you may have them set on large icons. You can easily change that here with the icon options. That's a mouthful. Select small icons, and you should be okay. Now, let's say I want to go over here and say, I want to put a separator in between the forward button and the stop button, just because I want to be careful that I'm not going to hit stop when I mean to say forward. So I use the separator over here, the available toolbar icons, drag it over and drop it. And you see that little black arrow is telling me where it's going to be inserted? Look at that. Now I've got a nice little separator up here in my toolbar between the forward button, which moves forward a web page, and the stop button. That's how you add a separator between them. And let's say I want the home icon to be the first icon I see in my toolbar. I click right here in the current toolbar buttons, and I'm going to move it up right next to the back button. You see that? Now I've got my little home icon up here in the toolbar. Look at that. Oh, I need a separator there. I want to make sure it's separated. So I click the separator, and you can customize this 7 ways from Sunday. You can change it anytime you want. Real easy to do. And a lot of people don't do it. They don't realize that all these things are there. In fact, there may be some icons over here that you might want to add to the toolbar that's not there now. One of the best ones is the size icon. Now, this is going to help you if you go to a web page that the text might be too big. I'm going to drag and drop, and it looks like a small a, big A. I'm going to drag and drop it. Let's put it right here at the very end of the toolbar. Now, when I'm done, I can press close. If I want to reset the options, I can press reset. It'll go back to my last saved configuration. Now, when I click on this, watch what happens to the fonts on my screen. Right now, it's set to smallest. Watch what happens when I press largest. Whoa! Scroll down here, folks. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that's so big. So again, I can use this icon to go from smallest to largest. And you can do this dynamically on any page. Now, another thing you can do with your Internet Explorer is you can add the Google toolbar. Just go over to google.com, and right there on the front page with those large fonts, there's a link that says Google Toolbar. Just go ahead and click that, and you'll see there, that's not the toolbar there. That's just a graphic that signifies what you can download. You scroll all the way, select your language, English. Yep, system requirements, I'm good to go. Get the Google toolbar. It says, hey, it's going to load here. Install it. Yep, just agree to the end user license agreement. Sounds good to me. Install the Google toolbar. Dang, man, they have you read everything. Oh, let's install it with the advanced features. Sure, it enables advanced functionality. I like that. Now what it's doing is it's downloading an ActiveX control. It's completely safe that we know of, so we can press yes, and in a few seconds, look at this. Popped open a new browser window. We've got a new toolbar from Google. So I can do a search for Gretchen Perillo. That's my wife. And then what it's going to do is it's going to pop up any site that it thinks matches Gretchen's name. So Google Toolbar, you can add that for free real quick, google.com. Now, if you want to know more about customizing Internet Explorer, or if I went a little too quickly, don't worry. Head over to our website. The address is at techtv.com/call-for-help. We've got all the information and a lot more right over there. Now, still ahead, Roger's going to show us how to put your sensitive files under lock and key. It's our free file of the day when Call for Help continues.
What would you do if someone...
And right there in the second column, you'll see the My Computer link. This week, we're asking you, what is your favorite webcam site? Now, a webcam, again, is an image you can upload to your website so that people can see what you're doing. And I've written up my current favorite webcam site is right here. This is a techtv viewer here, Chris Hillman. And if I mispronounce that name, I do apologize. I'd like to find out if I did misspell it, or I'm sorry, not misspell it, mispronounce it. But here I'm clicking, taking a peek at Chris, but it looks like everyone else is at this point in time. But when this pops up, you're going to see a nice little webcam shot of Chris sitting in front of his computer a little too close. At least that's what it is right now. So head over to our website, the My Computer feature. I'd like to know your favorite webcam on the web right now. Let me know. I'm kind of a voyeur that way. So right now, it's time to move on and talk about today's free file, something called My Old Safe. Roger.
My old safe. What does the safe do?
It keeps things protected.
Yeah.
Unless you lose the key or the combination.
Well, in this case, if that's
wait,
right.
Wait.
You hid the desktop.
And how do we unhide the desktop icons? Right click on the, there we go. Active desktop, view as web page. Perfect.
Wow.
There you go.
Magic.
How is that for safe?
Yeah, cool. Anyways.
What do we
My
have?
old safe. Basically, what it is a tool that allows you to encrypt files, be it like, a giant grocery list, or more importantly, like payroll information, which some people should have done, passwords, or even things like birthdays that you want to keep people from knowing until you surprise them with the gift, what have you. And it's really cool, it's because My Old Safe basically uses the encryption that comes in a PK zip or zip file. Most people don't know this, but you can actually encrypt files when zip. You can add a password.
Wait, encrypt. What is that?
Encrypt. Basically, you are taking a file and you're passing it through a filter of sorts that turns it into gobbledygook. So if someone that you don't want to read it, reads it, it just looks like garbage.
Okay.
So basically, you just let's select something on the old desktop here that have files. And you just grab like this techtv article. I'll drag it in here. Now I'll put in a password.
Ooh.
Let's try a dog.
Well, but you don't want to tell anybody that
no. Click done, verify, and it will be there. So if you can see, it's now being converted into a zip file, and now it's into an encrypted file with a .safe file extension. And if you want it back, you drag it back, type in the password. Four-legged canine.
Unless, of course, again, you forget your combination.
Oh, well, anyways.
Well, I hope that wasn't too important, Roger, because we're never getting it back.
Well, in any case, it's actually kind of cool. It's very useful. However, because other people can have access to your system, make sure you don't want to leave it on your desktop. Because, your kids or someone when plays a practical joke puts all your billing information for the year, and you got to print out your W-2s, and the IRS is breathing down your neck, and you think you got an audit. Well,
and it's interesting that the password was mistyped, because that's kind of a risk that you run.
And actually, that's a very good point. If you do type, and it does double check that you type, that you know what you're typing, and not like talking on while you type.
Well, thank you so much, Roger. It looks very cool, very interesting, and very secure, or at least more than what I had before, and very free. Right now, on the phone, we have Keith from Louisville, Kentucky. Keith!
Hello, Chris.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. You do a great job.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're doing a good job so far, too.
I'm just getting started.
All right. What can we help you with today, Keith?
Well, sir, I got a digital video camera for Christmas. Ooh. And really enjoying it. But I've come to realize that the computer that I own is not fast enough or capable of doing any type of video editing. So I'm looking to upgrade. I want to get a new computer, and I want you to tell me what processor, RAM, hard drive, video card that I need.
Sure.
And will XP take care of VCDs?
Internally, you mean?
Yes, sir.
I had not installed any that I know of. I didn't install any extra software, and I seem to be able to read VCDs just fine. If just starting with that question, if you're looking for a cheap way to use VCDs, Roger may know of a particular piece of software. Will DivX read VCDs, or is there?
No, if you do a search on hotfiles.com and you just type VCD client, and you type it and do a search, you actually come up with a few.
I remembered a website too. VCD Help.
That's it.
VCDhelp.com.
Look at that.
That'll help you, Keith, with that question. Now, you're asking about hardware specifications. Looks like Roger's got pulled up. Oh, right, you're trying to go to VCD Help. Well, what we've got pulled up right here is a whole bunch of Dell systems. You're asking about what kind of processor you want, what kind of RAM do you want, and that I know of. Digital video is more, it's harder on the processor than it is on the RAM, although it's good to have a lot of both.
If you're doing kind of professional or even kind of prosumer level editing, you're going to want, the key is you kind of want to get as much RAM as you can afford and as much processing speed as you can afford. And these things, it may not seem like a lot if you're doing like maybe a 10-minute clip, but if you start adding it up and you're doing something maybe even of a 30-minute range, passing around a large files on your computer is very taxing on the system.
Yes,
because you're not doing multiple small files. For example, if you're doing a word processor, you're doing these huge multi-gigabyte files, potentially multi-gig. They're usually around the hundreds of megabytes.
Yeah.
And you're moving that across your system, and drive speed's very important. Having large, fast hard drives. And again, he mentioned that he had a DV camera, so you also want to make sure it has a FireWire port within it so you can attach your camera to it.
FireWire is also called, is it IEEE 1394?
IEEE 1394, Apple licensed the name FireWire, so.
It's actually interesting, thank you, Roger. It's actually interesting, and we're not done yet, I'm sure. Keith, you're asking this question on a good day because Intel has recently just released their new line of Pentium 4 processors, also known by the code name Northwood. Now, up on the page right now we've got pulled up, Dell is actually releasing these, and I'm sure they're not the only company that's doing this today. The Pentium 4 processor, 2.2 gigahertz. What this is going to be over any other Pentium 4 that was released before, it's going to have what they call a higher second-level cache. Now, that sounds very mysterious, but what that roughly means is you're going to get 10 to 15% more performance out of a PC using this specific type of Pentium processor, again, something called Northwood. But again, starting at Pentium 4 2.2 gigahertz and higher is going to be supporting at this point in time the Northwood. Well, again, I use that as a code name because that's about the only one to talk about at this point in time. But that's what you're going to want to get: a Pentium 4 as much as you can afford, as much RAM as you can afford, as much hard drive as you can get.
And if you can, you know, if you're really going to get into this, you might want to get a second video card so you can have a dual monitor setup, so you can have your, you know, kind of control panel in one place and have your editing screen on another. And you might also want to think of an output card where you can output out into a VCR when you're done.
Perfect.
Instead of having it back in your camera then to your VCR. That way.
And if Dell doesn't work for you, Alienware also builds systems specific to digital video editing. Thanks for the call, Keith. Good luck with that upgrade. Love to hear about it. Now, it's time to test your tech knowledge with our daily quiz. Just go to techtv.com/call-for-help, click on the quiz, answer correctly, and you'll be in the running for a Call for Help t-shirt. Okay, so here's today's quiz. What is a URL? Is it a JPEG editor? Is it an internet address? Is it a markup language or a British nobleman? Well, drink your tea. We'll find out in less than a fortnight.
Call for Help is presented by Crucial Technology. Crucial Technology sells factory direct memory at low prices.
You are a cyber mom. You print
Later in high school. But these days, you'll find it in cold formulas, drinks, and multivitamins. And of course, you'll also find her, well, never mind. To find out more about how to research and look into vitamins online, we're going to be talking with Allie.
We are.
Yes.
We're going to talk herbs.
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 The H is silent, not the R.
No, well, what are you, French? Why wouldn't you say the H?
Because I'm American. So where can we look online?
Let's go to botanical.com, which is a really great site, and they have a hypertext version of the entire Modern Herbal by Mrs. Grieve. That is her name. And
Is she
actually, it was
French?
written in, no.
Oh.
It was first published, actually not so modern anymore, it was published in 1931, but most herbalists out there still use this book as a reference. It's really excellent. So you have, you don't have to go and buy it. You can search every herb in here through their alphabetical index, and let's just go into balm and see what they have. And you know, they have all the properties of balm and what it's good for and so on. Good for flus and things like
balm.
that. Lemon balm.
Balm.
We're having what herbal medicine will offer me here.
Sure.
And then we'll go back and see what conventional medicine offers too, and maybe you want to do a combination of the two. So that's a really nice reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just use my
Why
hand.
were you holding your chin?
Because this is the way I usually take care of my acne. Just walk around like this. How you doing?
Right. Very handy. How do you mouse at the same time when you're doing that stuff? It's okay.
I'm right.
Nice.
Okay, moving along.
I think I'd prefer to just show the acne in that situation. Okay, let's go to DMARS. This is the Open Directory project. This is a really cool site. If you're looking for any kind of reference, actually, within the herb section, it's very nicely divided into areas, everything from shopping, as you know, where to shop for herbs online, alternative folk medicine, and so on.
And they don't have a language in French, you notice?
That's right.
Not that we're going with the motif for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and by the way, I found a great hangover cure here. Eat coleslaw. Yes, before you go and party. And then apparently that will help you prevent having a hangover.
Interesting to know.
Yeah.
Wow. So now...
yeah. So once, okay, so you know, now you've found some remedies, right? You might want to actually buy some herbs. And of course there are resources online and places to go to buy herbs. But what you would want to do first is get some ideas about like smart ways to shop for herbs online. On that note, we actually are going to talk to Tim Kuss. He is a clinical nutritionist. He's on the line from Denver. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Allie.
How's it going?
Very well. Yourself?
Good. Now, the first question we want to ask you is, how do you go about finding the reputable herbal sites online if you're shopping for herbs, whether they be capsules or tinctures or whatever it is you're after?
Well, you basically can go search around, certainly on the net, but also sometimes even starting at the health food store, talking to people there about what are some reputable companies. One example, there's a site, www.naturesway.com. Nature's Way is, they've been around, 30 years, one of the original companies in this country. They have an excellent site also. They have herbs available you can buy right on site, as well as they have great information too.
Okay, so that's a good option. Now, can you also tell stuff from a site about the labeling and so on, and what might make you concerned about whether or not they've got good herbs and fresh herbs and stuff within that product?
You can, at their site, you can get some of that information. It's not all there, but most sites do not have all the nitty-gritty basic detail information about all the ingredients. So that's one thing that is often difficult to find online.
I guess I have a question, Tim.
Yeah.
How
Sure.
can you tell if they're fresh? I mean, the shelf life of a particular herb, or how can you tell how long you can keep that herb before it goes bad?
Well, your better companies are going to have expiration dates on the bottle, and it's good to be able to just, before you actually, if you're purchasing online, of course, what I do when I basically will make a note, fresh only, and if it comes and there's only like a month or two left on the expiration date, I'll return it to the manufacturer.
Okay. So now, what about like finding the best price? Is it best to go for the cheapest sort of herbs or capsules that you find online? I mean, how do you know? Obviously, I've heard that certain ones use, better parts of the herbs or better quality herbs. Now, how are you going to know which companies are reputable from that point of view?
Well, that's really based upon going with a company that you know a little bit about. There are tons and tons of different companies out there today.
Who would you recommend?
Please?
Who would you recommend, Tim?
Well, Nature's Way, the site I mentioned, is an excellent source. They've been around for 30 years. They're very reputable. I buy those herbs myself. There's another company, Mountain Rose Herbs.com.
And they're organic, right? We have that site up too.
If you're looking for the top of the line organic herbs, they're excellent. They're going to pay a little bit more for it, but many people think that quality is important enough to do that.
Very cool.
Fine.
I got one more question for you, Tim, and I guess this is probably the last question. Is it herbs or herbs?
You can say both.
Really? Okay.
Good answer.
Oh, he's being very diplomatic there.
Thank you.
We do want to finally say, when should you seek medical advice, and when should you use a herbal remedy?
Well, as an example, if you're taking echinacea for cold or flu, and you've been taking it for over a week and you're not getting any better, I'd say it's beginning to be the time to be looking for professional assistance and some expertise there. But many times you can get the results that you need by taking herbs and based upon what your symptoms are. But if you're getting to the point where you're not getting results, time to call the doctor, to call a health professional to get a little bit more information.
Right, so you've nailed it there. Don't go ahead and sort of go crazy with some herbal remedy without checking with your health care professional first. And of course, if you've got a serious medical condition, you want to make sure that you talk to your doctor.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, thanks very much, Tim. Thanks for all your great advice. And of course, we will have all the websites that Tim has mentioned and that I've shown today on our website at techtv.com/call-for-help.
Or call for help, depending on whether or not you
That's right.
pronounce the
Help
H.
or help.
Hey, you want to sing along with me?
Sure.
Wookin' Panub in all the wrong places. Tired of seeing me making faces. Yeah, good one. Well, Trish McDermott from Match.com is going to show us how to be lucky in love when Call for Help continues.
Tonight on Big Thinkers, an inside look at computer scientist, musician, and virtual reality pioneer, Jaron Lanier.
We invent these things like language and books and computers and virtual reality, whatever we do. And all of these things are struggling to make up for what's fundamentally a flaw in the way we're put together.
Big Thinkers, tonight at 8:30, 7:30 Central, only on Tech TV's Tech Prime. Information hijacking, identity fraud, internet overload. The world of technology is spawning a new type of crime. Your best protection? Information. With breaking news, in-depth reports and analysis, Alex Wellen and Jennifer London guide you through the digital dark side. A new type of criminal, a new type of crime. Know the risks with cybercrime. Cybercrime, Tuesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central, only on Tech TV's Tech Prime.
Rated E for everyone.
Heads.
It's heads.
I get to watch and listen.
I hate airplane music.
Too bad.
This is not fair. Oh, enough. Here. Now you can both listen. Wow. A splitter.
Come to your neighborhood Radio Shack for all the cool little accessories you need to get the most out of your favorite electronics, no matter where you bought them.
I can hear.
Radio Shack.
Let me pay you. Come on. How much?
No, really. I've got connections.
Some situations call for trucks with more power. So engineer Mark Ferrone and the team have made GMC Sierras the most powerful line of pickups in the world. And to help manage all that torque, they've also given Sierra technically advanced braking systems. Mark may be obsessed with power, but he's not crazy. From professional-grade people come professional-grade trucks.
Wednesday on Fresh Gear.
A sneak peek from the 2002 CES show floor. And from up above, your local rocketeering club has never been more wired. Plus, Ford Motors is taking your driving safety to a whole new level. Also, laptop travel, printers that serve sweets, and for the winter season, electronic ski detectors.
An all-new Fresh Gear, Wednesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central, only on Tech TV's Tech Prime.
Hey, what light by yonder window breaks? Surely it is Juliet with her laptop, browsing the personal ads. Huh? Hey, you want to find your soulmate? Well, Trish McDermott from Match.com is here to give us 5 great tips for finding a date online. Trish, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So people are still finding love online?
Yeah, the internet is like the single scene today. It's wildly popular. People just like you, nice-looking guys with good jobs.
I thought you said just like me.
Are logging on to find dates.
I'm married.
Well, I know. We talked about that in the last time.
Oh,
but
yes.
you're one of the lucky few.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. So you've got a couple of tips, 5 tips,
right,
on what to do and what not to do when you're looking for love online.
Right. And, you know, Valentine's Day is really just a little more than a month away, and it's not too late to get a date for Valentine's Day, but it does require that you do some work.
Okay.
So first and probably most important tip is just find the site that's right for you. There are all kinds of dating sites out there. Match is about 2.5 million people, obviously. You know, we think we're a great site. But you need to find a site that's going to attract the type of person that you might want to meet. And there's really a wild divergence of dating sites. And in the end, the technology is fun. We all geek out on it. It's pretty cool. But it's the person that you meet that really makes the difference.
You're talking about unique targeted sites. We found this is Rockabilly Dating.
That's the whole, like, you know, hot men with sideburns thing. That's true. You can be on that
I have sideburns.
The point is, though, that we're looking for a connection. And for many people, that's a similar interest, something that starts that feeling of sameness, interest in getting to know each other more. And there are all kinds of sites out there.
All right. So another interesting little portal for dating, lovemypets.com.
Always important, and in fact, we just did a survey on our site, and we found that singles who have pets make better lovers. Not sure why, but just thought I'd throw that in there.
Very interesting. Well, I own a dog, Sprocket, and my wife loves me, so there must be something
correlation
in that. She likes Sprocket more than she likes me, but that's a different segment. Okay, now moving along to your particular website, what can we do? Okay, first of all, I should say, what should we not do when we're putting our own profile on the web?
Well, there are a couple of things not to do. There's something called excessive disclosure. There's lots of things about you. Chris, I'm sure there's a few about you that we don't need to know right offhand. I think the most important thing when you look at a profile is to certainly make a good first impression, right? It's all about appearance. It's still dating. It's not technology. So post a photo. Certainly spell right, run your spell check, verb-subject agreement is helpful. If you look at this particular guy, he includes no real personal information. How can you like this guy or fall in love with him when in fact all you know is that he's 5'11" and has dark brown hair and gray eyes?
Yeah, but he's got a nice profile.
Well, yeah,
that silhouette, the white silhouette, that's what I look for. Not that I... Okay, so that's an example of a bad... what you don't want to do.
It is bad, and you know, dating is a very competitive game. There really is an economic supply and demand sort of factor here, and there are a lot of people on a site like Match.com, and so you need to rise above the multitudes.
That's very true, because you said it's like a game. Nice guys always finish last, just so you know. So
not true.
Thank you. I'm not a nice guy, though, so it doesn't count for me. Okay, so now that was an example of a profile that you wouldn't want.
Right, and it's not going to work for him. Now, this profile, this will work for this woman. She's a beautiful photo, very vivacious, wonderful smile, a little bit of cleavage, it can help. But
you heard it here first, folks.
She talks about herself, gives us, first of all, just a full description of who she is and her religion and whether or not she wants kids and the income that she makes. She writes a very warm and personal self-description and gives a lot of detail about the kind of person that she's looking for. So this is how you make a connection. You know, the technology doesn't do it for us. There has to be a real live person behind that, and she really tells us a lot. Someone's going to fall in love with her.
Yeah, I could say that, or I could see that. I did just say that you could see that. Anyway, as I read these things, usually certain things trip my trigger in reading people's profiles. Is there a certain style of writing that you would encourage?
There is, and actually we've done some research to find out what single people like. What really attracts you to someone? There are a couple of criteria. One is sense of humor. I think the more that you can make someone smile or laugh or make them feel good around you, including just feeling good reading your profile, the more likely they sense a sort of charisma about you, and that like online chemistry we call it, right? Intelligence is another one. We like smart people. So certainly, you know, good spelling and grammar as well, but the ability to write in whole sentences is helpful.
Very important.
And being positive. I mean, we are attracted to people who are having a good time, who have something to offer, and certainly you can put together a paragraph or two that suggests, you know, you've got a life going for you and there's room in it to have some fun with someone else.
And one last point, you used the word participating, and I was curious as to what you meant by that.
Yeah, well, online dating and dating in general is a game that you don't win from the benches. You really have to play. It's a sport that you participate in. And we actually just did some research, and we found that people who say they actively search for dates, not rocket science here, say that they had more dates last year, they were kissed more times last year, and they feel more optimistic about their romantic futures. So I think the beauty of online dating is it makes participating very easy, fast, fun, affordable, convenient, from home, from work.
Gotta like that.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Well, thank you so much, Trish, for coming by again. We'll have you on again if you have more tips, and I'm sure you do. And in the meanwhile, why don't you swing by our website, techtv.com/call-for-help, where you'll find some more tips right now for successful online dating, unless, of course, you're already in love with your wife. Love you, Gretchen. Coming up next, we want to hear from you, so we're going to open up the phones and answer more of your tech questions when Call for Help continues.
You are an online trader. You live by spreadsheets, rely on real-time stock quotes, crunch financial forecasts. You need more memory, big man. Don't let your system slow you down. A memory upgrade from Crucial.com can speed up your computer so you can grab the bull market by the horns. You are an online trader. Crucial.com. The memory experts.
It responds to the power of your voice. It lets you focus on the road ahead.
OnStar Personal Calling.
Call Commissioner Gordon. With the safety of hands-free dialing, you can concentrate on more important things, like driving.
Gordon here.
I'm on my way. You could win a walk-on part in the next Batman movie or an OnStar-equipped vehicle. Go to OnStar.com.
Sure, the holidays are over, but it's not too late to open one of these.
the compact Presario 1700T notebook. It's got hot swappable drives and the incredibly fast mobile Intel Pentium 3 Processor M for just $13.49. Plus, we'll give you a carrying case and an extra battery free. So give yourself one last holiday present to open before this deal closes. Call 1-888-289-2556 to get yours now.
Get online with MSN Broadband. Use it to order prints of Chicago photos. Use it to listen to Chicago radio. And watch ESPN.com highlights of Chicago teams.
I love it. Bet your bottom dollar.
Then email friends that you're coping with the job transfer just fine. Want an internet service you can really use? MSN from Microsoft is the great alternative to AOL. MSN, more useful every day.
Mecca like a high, Mecca hiney ho, it's time for a Windows tip. And today you'll learn how to never lose your Windows password in Windows XP. Now, it doesn't matter if you never remember your Windows user password ever again. Why? Well, because of this. This disk holds the power to remember my password for me should I happen to forget it. So how did I put my user password on this disk? Well, the answer is the Forgotten Password Wizard, and I suggest you access it the minute you create your first user account. Here's where you can find it in Windows XP. Open up the control panel, double-click the user accounts icon, and then let's say I want to change, I'm not going to do Roger Chang. I'm just going to go to the general call for help. Then in the related tasks, you're going to see Prevent a Forgotten Password link. Go ahead, click on that, and it'll take you to the Forgotten Password Wizard. All you have to do is step through next. As soon as you got that the floppy disk in the A drive, it will ask you for your current password, step you through that. It'll be saved on disk. Make sure you make a couple of copies of it, put one in a safe place, put another in another place just in case the other one doesn't work for you, and there you go. This is what you have. Easy to do. Make sure you do it if you got Windows XP, just in case you ever forget your password, you got your backup. Now, I understand that since this show is called Call for Help, we have another caller on the line. Allie?
You guessed right, Christopher. On the phone from Michigan, actually Redford, Michigan, it's Keith.
Keith.
Hi.
Our second Keith of the day.
Third.
Is it the third?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
okay,
yes?
I'm not a math guy, so I wouldn't know.
I was wondering if you could use Mac OS X on a PC.
Ooh, good question. You like the way Mac OS X works and looks then?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I have dabbled with it myself, too. Unfortunately, at this point in time, there really is no way to run Mac OS X on a PC. And I'll try to step back a bit. When we talk about PCs, it's generally understood that that's Windows machines running on an Intel processor. The Macintosh runs on a different type of processor, whereas it interprets instructions from the operating system differently. Okay, now there's a lot of jargon I'm throwing around here, so let's try to, again, back up. Windows runs on certain types of machines. Macintosh, that operating system, runs on another type of machine, and you can't really cross them over. A lot of people have the same questions, like, can I run my Pocket PC programs on my Palm? No, they're two different pieces of hardware. It's kind of like, it would be like installing parts of a Ford automobile into a Nissan. Yeah, it could happen, but you're probably not going to end up with the same results. And in fact, it may not even work at all. And it's the same case when you're talking about using operating systems on machines that they weren't specifically built for. So again, no, you cannot run Mac OS X at this point in time on a Windows machine. There are ways to emulate Windows on a Windows machine and emulate Windows on the Mac machine, and I'll put the links for you there in the show notes. Be sure you subscribe to that at our website, techtv.com/callforhelp, which, by the way, Keith, is also where you should go right now for one more chance to take the daily quiz. Again, the website, techtv.com/callforhelp. Click on the quiz, answer correctly, and you'll be in the running for a Call for Help t-shirt. Now, here's today's quiz. What is a URL? Is it a JPEG editor, an internet address, a markup language, or a British nobleman, baby? Yeah, I will find out.
Become the featured presentation at an invitation-only premiere by controlling who sees your resume and who doesn't, leaving just you, your resume, and the person who's hiring. Hotjobs.com.
Heads.
It's heads.
I get to watch and listen.
I hate airplane music.
Too bad.
This is not fair. Oh, enough. Here. Now you can both listen. Wow. A splitter.
Come to your neighborhood Radio Shack for all the cool little accessories you need to get the most out of your favorite electronics, no matter where you bought them.
I can hear.
Radio Shack.
Let me pay you. Come on, how much?
No, really.
I've got connections.
Ever wonder how the race car driver gets to the race car? Seville STS.
Tell your own fortune. Post your resume and see what tomorrow holds. Even if you already have a job, it's free, easy, and confidential. So log on and leave nothing to chance. Hotjobs.com.
I want to be connected.
Plug me in.
Welcome to Tech TV, the ultimate resource for technology news, information, and entertainment. On air, online. Tech TV is the network that plugs you into the wired world. Tech TV, television about technology.
Hold on to your seats. We're going faster. Exploring farther. Growing stronger. Changing the world one breakthrough at a time. Get a front row seat into the future.
Tomorrow's World. Weeknights at 6:30, 5:30 Central, only on Tech TV. Coming up on Tech TV, connect with the visionaries on Big Thinkers. Then, stay tuned for Tomorrow's World.
Are you going to make money off the subscription side?
Debating the hot topics in high tech. Silicon Spin, weekdays at 3, 2 Central, only on Tech TV.
Duke of what's an URL? URL. Is it a JPEG editor, an internet address, a markup language, or a British nobleman? Well, the answer is B. It's an internet address. You know that www stuff that we talk about? Uniform Resource Locator, URL. Now, it's time to redeem myself by doing that Word work menu tip that I tried the other day. If you want faster access to all your Microsoft Word documents, try using the work menu, but it's not there by default. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a document. Let's say we like to use this document a lot. We're going to kind of put it in a menu that isn't there quite yet. To add it, we right-click on the toolbar, kind of like we did with Internet Explorer earlier. Select Customize. Now in the Commands tab, we scroll down to seeing built-in menus. And then we scroll down there. There it is. There's the work menu. Click and drag. Keep on holding on to that. You can drag it anywhere. I'm going to put it over here in between the File and the Edit menu. Let go, and look at that. The work is right there. Now, since I've got this current document open, if I want to add it to the work menu, I select Work, Add to Work menu, and look at that. All of a sudden, well, let's get past the personalized menus. Now, whenever I open Word, I can automatically open up my favorites. Now, to remove that from that toolbar, that entry, that document, then I'm not going to tell you, actually. I'm going to tell you to swing by our website, techtv.com/call-for-help, where not only will you find out how to remove the entries from that tab, but you'll also find out a free CD burner that I found that will burn data. Burn to the Brim is the name of it. We'll have the link for you in our show notes. Make sure you subscribe to that. I'd like to thank our guest, Trish McDermott, for helping us out today. And, of course, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. We'll see you next time. See you later.